Hey everyone, I'm Jeff, and today I'll be talking about massively multiplayer online role-playing games, specifically on how these types of games now allow more players to interact with one another in role-playing games. MMORPGs are probably some of the more complex games that can be played right now, due to the fact that this game type have so many aspects developed, such as gameplay, storyline, economy, social interactions, and much more. MMORPG is not a game type that started most recently. As a matter of fact, the games in this type may have drawn from many older games, with the only exception is that there was no online role-playing in the past. In MMORPG games, players can set their own goals and there is no way to win, whether single player or multiplayer. For example, one game type you look at is Final Fantasy XIV. The gameplay in this game is very similar to one presented in a classic role-playing game called Dungeons and Dragons. One featured in Final Fantasy that was also featured in Dungeons and Dragons is that players could play a specific character in a fictional setting, with the only exception is that Final Fantasy allows players to create and customize their own characters based on facial features, race, and job type, rather than having to pick any character that is already customized in the game. After a character is created, players will control the character and lead them to an adventure setting, where the main task in the game is to complete missions and quests. While there are quests and missions in MMORPG games, they may not always be an exact beginning or end, and because of this, players can just stop playing for a period of time and pick up where they left off with the games. There's also an influence from old adventure-based games, whether they're text-based or have changing screens. Also, with games like Dungeons and Dragons and Final Fantasy, players have the ability to explore the world around them and to use their characters to do things that have never been done in the real world. While MMORPG games created more gameplay and storyline, this idea took it to a whole new level by introducing social interaction games such as World of Warcraft. This socialization created a whole new dynamic for games, in which people banded together in guilds to either complete certain objectives or battle against one another in player versus player. The ways that the social interaction occurs on MMORPGs happens is similar to real life interactions. You form a small group to build up your characters with and become friends with. You travel this group and better yourself. You try to beat other groups to take their items and land, but only groups that you feel are weaker than yours. Although MMORPGs can be addictive to most players, at the same time the reason why this game type is so popular to many gamers is because it allows people to engage in the fantasy world as they're playing the games, which continues to evolve even when the player is offline. This resembles the new MMORPGs because of the upgrading ability, the virtual world that seems to have endless boundaries, and the interactive talk between players. In addition, this helped branch the idea of a huge virtual reality, or also known as the Magic Circle. Text adventures have evolved into graphic adventure games, and early digital multiplayer role-playing games have grown to huge graphic worlds of the MMORPGs. MMORPGs try to combine the strategy aspect of card games with statistics, the gameplay aspects of role-playing games, and the fun aspect of modern video games. As technology progresses, we are more capable of implementing and creating these concepts and making them more realistic reality.